Good morning, this is Rick Steinauer, and we are having a discussion here with
Lynn Purdy.
Lynn Purdy is a Vietnam-era naval retiree.
Not retired.
Not retired.
No.
Okay. I'm with the Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation Share Your Story project, Bellevue University, and she has agreed to share her story for the Library of Congress Vietnam History Project and the Nebraska Vietnam Memorial Project. Where were you born?
I was born in Mitchell, South Dakota.
And tell me about your parents and their occupation.
My father served during the Korean War, and when he came back, he went to the University of Nebraska and became an architect. And when he was getting discharged from the Korean War, he was over in England. And my mother and I went over there on the Queen Mary and joined him in England. And then we came back on a troop ship, and I have a little certificate hanging on my wall. So it was predestined that I would be in the Navy from the very beginning. In 1953 is the date on there.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was a housewife, and I'm the oldest of 9 children.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you had any siblings.
Oh, I certainly do. 6 brothers and 2 sisters.
Are they all still with us, or?
They all are, and my mother died young, and my father married a widow with 6 children.
Holy mackerel.
Yes.
15 kids.
Yes.
Wow. Did any of them serve in the military besides you?
I have a brother, John Fitzgerald Purdy, that served in the Navy, and one of my stepbrothers was in the Marine Corps.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
I went to Grand Island Central Catholic High School.
And then you went beyond that?
I did. I went to the University of Nebraska. I ran out of money, and I realized quite quickly that if I joined the Navy that I could get on the GI Bill, and that's what I did. And when I got out, I went to college at the University of Nebraska again, and went to Kearney to get my Nebraska teaching certificate, and then I taught in Nebraska.
Okay. And what did you teach?
English, and it was language arts, so it was English and journalism, theater, just the language arts.
Just in general, you know. What did your parents, what year did you join the Navy?
In 1974.
What did your parents think about that, or did they?
I think they were proud of me, although they were a little leery that I was a woman. But I was 22 at the time, and that was a little older than most of the people in my boot camp who were 17, 18 years old.
Did you ever marry, or? You can skip that, it's okay.
I was married for one day, so it was one of those liberty drunk, let's get married, let's not get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas types.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll say nothing about that.
Okay.
Did you hold any jobs? What kind of jobs, or did you hold jobs before you went to the service?
I worked in the library at the University of Nebraska and did cleaning for the athletic department, and Bob Devaney was one of my offices that I cleaned, and he was a terrific man, and I have the funniest story about him. I'm going to tell you this story.
Please.
We used to dial a prayer every once in a while just because we were bored, and so we'd call dial a prayer, and the phone rang, and they said, "Here, it's dial a prayer, Lynn," and the phone rang, and the guy said, "Coach Devaney," and he knows me, right? And I said, "Oh, Coach Devaney, it's Lynn. I'm so sorry. They told me it's dial a prayer." And Devaney said, "Well, Lynn, sometimes it is."
Well, that's the truth, isn't it?
That's the truth.
With that team,
Yep.
That's very much the truth.
Yep.
You mentioned that you kind of went to the service to be able to get the schooling.
Yes, to get on the GI Bill.
Get on the GI Bill.
Yes.
And that worked out for you?
Oh yes, I utilized it. I used it all the way through. I did get my bachelor's degree and teaching certificate, and I did go to graduate school as well. when I was in the reserves.
Okay. I'm gonna. Now this is kind of future because we've got more to say. But when you left the service, what do you feel like you left behind?
I feel like I left behind a lot of camaraderie, and I loved those people. I played fast pitch softball with them. We did a lot of things together that just bonded us as a group, and I missed that terribly. Did not have that.
Well, you were able to add to it when you joined the reserves. Was that true or not? You were able to rejoin a lot of the camaraderie when you joined the reserve later.
Not really, because you only went once a month.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Where did you take basic?
In Orlando, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why did you pick the Navy?
My two uncles, Uncle Wayne and Uncle Jerry, both served during World War II, and they had to be signed by my grandparents to join because they were underage, and I was always so impressed with their stories and their uniforms and just the fact that they did that.
Okay. When you finished basic, did you go on to an advanced schooling at all?
I did not. I did on-the-job training for communications, the communications yeoman for my squadron.
Okay. And this in what years?
1974, the very end of 1974.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said communications, are you talking radio communication?
I did. I had a secret clearance, and then this was before the crypto. I had a secret clearance, and I would route the plans of the day to the skipper for where the jets were going to fly reconnaissance. I was in a reconnaissance attack squadron.
Vigilantes?
Vigilantes, yes, RA-5Cs.
Describe vigilante as best you can.
We called them flying geese, big old goose. They were, I never flew one, but they were, I guess, pretty unwieldy. And you could bomb with them, or you could take photos with them, and they were fantastic photos. We had a photo department, and it was very highly classified. You had to have numbers to get in there, and then you had to have a high security clearance in order to get in there. Yeah.
Now, were the vigilantes one or two pilot?
There was a pilot and a RAN.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just trying, for somebody listening to this, what a vigilante was.
Yeah. There was a pilot, and then there was the RAN is what did RAN stand for?
Well,
navigator.
Essentially a navigator.
Yeah, a navigator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten myself.
Right, and then they would look down on the deck of the aircraft carrier. You could see them looking down, and they'd say, lower, 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 touchdown. So, yeah, they could actually do that visually.
I'm going to back up for a moment when you were in recruit training.
Uh-huh.
How many women were in your, like when you were going through recruit, your company?
Probably about 30.
Oh, there were that many?
Yeah.
Really? And they were all, and of course they scattered up to the four winds.
They did, all scattered to the four winds, except one friend I stayed in touch with, and I'm still in touch with her.
That was my next question.
She was my best friend in boot camp. She retired out as a senior chief.
Okay.
And she's retired now, and she lives out in California.
What was her job in the Navy?
Huh?
What was her job in the Navy?
Medic.
Oh,
so yeah,
very
she was a medic.
Job.
Very, yes.
Yeah. Beyond that, now you said you went to communications school.
No, I did on-the-job training.
OJT. Okay.
Yeah, OJT.
Okay. And did that help you advance elsewhere, or did you just stay with communications?
I stayed with that the whole time. Now, when I joined the reserves, I got sent to NATO headquarters in Germany, and that's where I got my crypto training.
Okay, so this was after the Navy. After
active duty.
After active service.
Yes, they needed people that could go to crypto school.
Gotcha.
That they could send out.
Okay. What was the hardest part of that training, do you think?
It was confusing at first. Crypto is a different language all its own. You have to learn a completely different.
Wasn't Morse code fun to try to learn?
Morse code, yes. When I was little, I thought Morse code would be fun, so I did the dot 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 dash 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 thing, and that was about as far as I got.
Uh-huh.
But yes, it was incredible. But the crypto was difficult for me. But
well,
we made it
I got
through.
news for it. It was anybody, including myself, that took it. It was very difficult.
Yeah, I think it was. Everybody just kind of looked at each other in that class.
I think aliens set the thing up.
Yeah.
That was my thinking. What? Now you were, like you said, you were in for 3 years.
Yes.
And active duty. What do you think was the hardest part of that for you, or was there?
The hardest part?
I mean, more difficult either for you living, or your mental capabilities, or your job, or how?
Actually, I enjoyed almost all of it.
Okay.
I really did. Any of it, I could get through, and with the comrades that I had and the group of women that I had, another friend of mine is down in St. Louis. She's lost her husband now. He retired as a chief too.
Okay.
And all of her kids joined the Navy. Her sons anyway. But she was the pitcher for our fast pitch team, and I was the catcher. I mean, we just had lovely women that were very close.
Now, once you left that, did you keep in touch with any of them?
Well, yes. The lady in
the one you mentioned before.
Yes, the one out in California, the one in St. Louis. She's still there.
Okay.
Yep, those two in particular. Okay. Yeah.
Where were you stationed? Where were you stationed?
Well, when I was on active duty, I was stationed in Key West, Florida for 3 years. Our main job was to be prepared for shipboard things. So we did carrier quals out of Norfolk.
Okay.
So we would fly out of Norfolk and do carrier quals. The other thing was, the main thing was to fly over Cuba and take pictures and to make sure there was no installations going in down there.
Sure.
And develop pictures and make sure that nothing was going on there. In the reserves, I got to go all over the world. So it was the England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, Germany, Hickam Field, Hawaii, Pearl Harbor, Okinawa, and then the USS Acadia I got sent to twice out of San Diego, California. Mm-hmm. Yep, that was a destroyer tender. So.
Yeah, as a side note, did you ever happen to get up to Pensacola and visit the Lexington? There was World War II carrier there, the Lexington in Pensacola.
No, I've been on the Missouri.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Out on the West
Coast.
Yeah. I've been on that battleship. Yeah.
I just curious. So, what was the easiest part of the military lifestyle for you?
The easiest part? Chow.
Well, that's too easy.
That's too easy. The easiest part was the fact that people were willing to help you along, no matter what the challenge. They were willing to listen to you, in my opinion and in my experience.
Okay. Listen
to you, and if they couldn't help you, they'd find somebody who could.
Okay.
No matter what it was.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of your service was in that area.
Yes.
On the East Coast.
Yes.
Was that the best time for you as far as this military service, or did you station somewhere else you liked better? Or?
No, that was where I was stationed, and
that was your permanent station.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now who wouldn't want to be in Key West for 3 years except for deployments?
Yeah. Yeah. And I can understand that.
Right.
Now you were essentially on the tail end of where the Vietnam War ended.
Right. It ended in 77 or 75. I'm sorry.
75.
Yeah.
Did you get any feedback or anger from U.S. citizens based on that?
Sometimes, if I was in a airport in my dress blue uniform or something like that in Chicago or something, and people were looking at me, and I would get a snicker or a laugh and a point.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was because I was a woman if it was because I was in the military at the time.
Well, one of the reasons I ask is because when we were there, we were required to travel in civilian clothes.
Yes.
We weren't allowed to travel in uniform.
Yes, I traveled in my uniform.
Okay, because we weren't allowed to.
Right.
Any hard times you want to share? Any things that were really difficult for you?
Oh, some of the hard times were that the sailors would hit on you, but you just took that and took care of that.
Let's all act surprised.
Yeah, let's all act surprised. You just took care of that.
Yeah. Give me kind of an idea of your typical workday.
Of course, it started early, and I would go up to the tower at the airport or the ship or wherever we were and pick up the flight orders, and then I would route the flight, stamp the flight orders, and put down there if they were confidential, eyes only, secret, top secret, things like that. And then I would route them to the ready room where the pilots were and give them to the captain, and then the captain would make sure that they got routed to the appropriate pilots.
Okay.
And then the pilots would be given their decisions or their positions to where they would go out and get in the...
Do you remember the squadron number?
3. I was Squadron 3.
Squadron 3.
We were Recon Attack Ron, and then we were Reconnaissance Attack Squadron 3.
Okay.
And we were one of the few squadrons of a larger... it wasn't a squadron, but a group of squadrons that still had a Commodore in those days.
Oh, okay.
And we had a Commodore. I remember the Commodore once. I was flying up to Pensacola, and I was on was it an A3, I think? Does that have 7 seats on it, or how many seats does that have?
An A3?
Yeah.
It only has, no, it has only 3, I think.
It's got 3. I was on it, and, well, I think it was like...
No, I'm sorry, that's an A5. It had 6 seats.
It had 6 seats. I was on an A3, and I had 6 seats, and I was going up to Pensacola to see my company commander from boot camp. And we turned around, and we went back over the ocean, and we dumped all our gas, and we kept going back to Key West, and I said, "What's going on?" And they said, "The Commodore wants on the plane. We're going to have to kick you off." So they kicked me off the plane, and the Commodore got on, and I went, "Holy cow."
Now, if you can, describe what a Commodore is.
A Commodore was above a captain, but below an admiral.
Right.
It was a different kind of an old-fashioned, probably. They did do away with that, but we still had...
It was a World War II designation.
Yes, it was, and we still had a Commodore from World War II.
Well, let me give you a crossover. This might go well for you.
Okay.
What was the bravest, funniest, scariest, or saddest thing you experienced? Funniest, bravest, saddest, could be anything.
Well, the scariest thing that ever happened to me was when we were on squadron. We were on like doing night qualifications and things like that on the aircraft carriers, and I said that I would stay back I was in the one of the apartments that they had put the women up in. And I was standing by the window, and a gunshot came through the window and whizzed. I heard it right by my head, and I saw the window crack in the hole there, and you just don't realize what it is until it's over. And that was the scariest thing that happened to me. And we never could figure out...
Is that because the sailor you turned him down for a date?
No, I hope not. And then the second time was... There was a sailor who was, he was terribly troubled, and he got really, really drunk, and he grabbed me once when I got off work, and he put a gun up to my head and threatened me. And another sailor had to talk him down and take the gun away from him.
Wow.
But those were the scariest times. It was with...
What's the funniest thing you can remember?
The funniest thing?
Besides getting thrown off a plane for a Commodore.
Well, the funniest thing was we decided that the waves were women in the Navy. We were going to go up to Norfolk, and we were going to go camping, and so we went camping. And we always had this one Air Force gal that came with us. and we were all Navy, and so we were playing in the Shenandoah River and playing in the river, and we were saying, "Here comes the Navy," and we were splashing in the river, and she had hooked a rope up, and she swung across the river, and she shouted out, "And the Air Force!" And then she just dropped into the water. I just remember that because it was really funny.
Well, that's good. That's good. What do you think? Let's cross this over two ways.
Okay.
I'd like to hear the best and worst parts of the military service.
The best? Well, as I said, I thought it was the camaraderie. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yes. The worst part was being away from home, especially that first Christmas. My parents sent me my stocking and sent me some really special gifts and things like that, which made it very bittersweet for me that I couldn't go home that year. We had a skeleton crew on, and in those days you couldn't just say I'm going on leave and go.
Right.
It had to be quite prearranged and
You had to go through channels.
Pardon?
You had to go through channels.
Exactly, and it was for the good of the squadron. You always had to say respectfully request, and it had to be really. One of the proudest moments I ever had was being accepted for SEAL school. I got accepted for SEAL school, and I still have all the paperwork. And then at the very last minute, I decided that I liked where I was too much and that I was doing really well in my position, and I didn't go, so I stayed.
Right. Yeah, because you didn't mention it. I thought, how would you forget that?
Well, I didn't forget it. It's just that I told my family that just recently, the past 2 years, and my brother said, "You never said that." I said, "All the paperwork's sitting on my desk. You can look at it."
So you had essentially 14 people at home, including your parents?
Well, no, my parents, and then there was 9 of us.
Okay.
And then after Mom passed away, Dad remarried, and there was 6.
Okay.
But we were all grown up
I was going to say you were at home, but you weren't at home.
No, most of us were grown up by that time.
Were you pretty much a tight family, though?
Oh, extremely. We still are.
Wonderful.
Oh, yes, we still are. One of my brothers, he's a cardiologist up in Rapid City, and he's the one that retired me from Game Fish and Parks in South Dakota. I had a stroke, and he's a couple of years ago, and he said, "I'm retiring you." He said, you can't be taking care of a 2.5-story Victorian, running the Raptor program for Game and Fish, working and being the night and weekend manager. He said, "You're retired." So he retired
You
me.
were retired.
I was retired at that moment.
How do you think the service changed you from where you were as an early, in your early years?
I think that it made me more consistent as far as organized. I had a lieutenant commander who was absolutely the most wonderful man in the world. We called him the Bald Ego, E-G-O. His name was Mr. Jamroga, and I don't want to say adored because I saved that for the Lord, but if there was a word he was the most amazing man. He showed me how to be so organized. I can't say enough of him. And he's the one that called me Purdy Woman, and that was my call sign. So, Purdy Woman, because my last name is Purdy. Yeah.
Of course, a lot of the sailors looked for you then, too.
Yeah, they did. Purdy Woman. Have you seen Purdy Woman?
Where is she?
But it made me more organized.
Do you think the service changed people, that the way they treated you after you got out of the service? Or did you just move on to civilian life?
Well, I moved on to civilian life, but then I went back to college, and I was pretty busy, so I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, I guess.
Okay. Well, I was kind of thinking in terms because
And I was a single mom, and I had a daughter to raise.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
She's 42 right now, 43.
Yeah. Well, she's just a youngster.
She is.
Yeah. So, reason I ask that is because there was a space between when you got out and when you joined the reserves.
Oh, yes.
I thought that maybe there was a tie in there somewhere.
No, I was going to college, and then I wanted to go back into the Navy, and I I was just over the age by about 6 months, and they wouldn't let me back in.
Oh.
So they said, you can join the reserves. So I joined the reserves because I was so anxious to be back in uniform that I joined the reserves to be back in uniform.
Okay. And how long between the time of that and the time you had your daughter?
Of when I got out?
Yeah.
4 years from, yeah.
I didn't know if it tied in at all.
4 years from when I got off active duty.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we know you were in the reserves. Did you join any other military service organizations?
The American Legion.
The American Legion.
Yes.
And are you a member here now?
No, I haven't joined here, but I've always been a member of the Legion ever since I got out. But I have, the only place that I've been since I've been here is to get my teeth checked at Platte Valley. So I haven't been to join the Legion or anything, but I need to do that.
Well, because they, now, I'm going to stop for just a second, okay? How do you think the military service affected your overall experiences?
It was a wonderful experience.
And you'd recommend it to others?
Oh, absolutely recommend it. I've told that to people over and over. I tell people that I believe that anyone who doesn't have a clear path in life, like I'm going to go to the university of whatever and become and fill in the blank, should join the military.
Okay.
And see what the world is about. It's a great education.
Is there anything at all you'd like to add? Anything? Anything about family or what you were doing?
I think we've covered it.
Okay. You talked about the one lady you kept a friendship with, and still.
Two of them, yeah.
Two of them. Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful.
One in St. Louis and one out in California.
Okay. Unless there's something else you'd like to add, I think we're done.
All right.
Thank you very much. Wait just a moment.
We have 3 more minutes. It's got to be.
With your service in the reserve, what was your job in that there?
I pretty much had the same job as I had on active duty. It was in communications.
Can you describe what that means?
Yes, it's was a little different because I didn't go every day. I was only there once a month, of course, and I drilled out of Lincoln, Nebraska, and I would go there and go sit in the office and get messages in. Of course, there was no real urgency to the messages like there was during Vietnam, and where you had to get pilots out and going.
Right.
And so then I had the luxury of getting orders over to NATO headquarters in Germany to study crypto. But we did a lot of book work in communications, different kinds of communications.
What kind of book work?
They had workbooks that you could do for your rate. I was a yeoman, and you could do different workbooks to advance in your rate. I was an E5. I was a yeoman second class.
You came out as an E5?
Yes.
Okay. Would you honestly recommend the service to people?
Honestly, yes, I would. In fact, I regret the fact that I did not stay in for 20 years.
Okay.
I do. I mean, I'm proud of the fact that I went back to college and got a degree, but I wish that I had spent the 20 years, because I kept thinking 20 years, that's such a long time, but it's not.
No.
And it was, no, I wished I had.
Okay. I'm going to back up again. You kept mentioning communications.
Yes.
We didn't describe what you're talking about. Is this radio? Is this teletype? What is it?
I got the teletype off of the tower in the morning, and it wasn't radio. I wasn't a radio man or anything like that. We just got the teletype in the morning, and then it was printed out on a sheet, and the sheet would say confidential or secret. I would stamp it with the date, and it would have a grid on the side where I would I would initial it, and then I would put down to whom it would go.
Okay.
So
Did you also have to type them out at all? Or you
no, I did
just
not.
received?
I routed. I routed it.
Read them and routed them.
I read them and routed them.
Okay.
In fact, when they were airlifting people off the top of the building in Saigon, I got those messages in, and I remember thinking to myself, this is big, and I couldn't say a thing to anybody, not my closest friends, not my commander, nobody. I saw those messages, and it gave me chills, and I've got chills right now thinking about it. I do.
Well, let's back up for a moment.
Yes.
There's people going to maybe seeing this that doesn't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
About
Saigon had
airlifting.
fallen, and they were trying to airlift Americans, women, children, people off the top of the American embassy in Saigon to get them out of there. They were,
Before the Viet Cong moved in.
yes, the Viet Cong were moving in, and they were trying to get them out of there before they slaughtered them, in essence.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what that was.
Yes, I have goosebumps.
You just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You've done a wonderful job, and people are going to. We've interviewed so many people that are not women,
Yes.
and so it's wonderful that you joined us.
Oh,
you.
my honor.
Thank you very much. We'll give you a chocolate chip cookie.
I love it.